DreAllDay.com.
Friday, June 27th. Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Y'all know what this is. It's Q&A number 25. For those of you not familiar with the Q&As, I do these every single Friday. I go through all the comments of the previous week's Q&A, and I respond to these comments. I put these videos out every Saturday. I record them on Friday. So I'm recording this video today. If you got a question, you leave it in the comments to this video, and then the next video, which comes out next Saturday, 1 week from right now when you're watching this, you'll see your question get replied to in that video. Do not reply to the questions or comments that other people leave. Just leave them for me to address, no matter what you think of them, so we keep it clean so I can go through these quickly and efficiently. Now, before we even get into this, I do want to let everybody know who's in the South Florida area. I want to come to some outdoor court and see what y'all games is about. Because usually, if y'all watch my videos, you watching this, you probably watch my content. You see that I'm usually in an indoor gym. Anytime I'm playing, I usually play indoors. My knees ain't good for playing outdoors no more. But I'm way older. I'm older than a lot of y'all, so I don't play on concrete no more. Don't mean concrete is bad for you. Don't mean anything wrong with playing basketball on concrete. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a surface. I don't want my joints pounding on that surface any more than they need to be at my age. I'm 32 years old. I got way more miles on my legs than a lot of you do. But despite that, I'm going to come to an outdoor court next week. Since today, the day y'all watching this is going to be June 28th. I was going to do it on Saturday the 28th, but I wasn't able to announce it and schedule it the way I wanted to. So I'm looking at next weekend. I was thinking July the 5th, which is the day after July the 4th, and then considering what I might be doing July the 4th on Friday, I think I'm going to move it to Sunday, July the 6th. July the 6th, Sunday. The court that I'm looking at is Margaret Pace Park. Any of you familiar with Miami? Margaret Pace Park is at 19th and Bayshore, 1 block away from Biscayne Boulevard, downtown/midtown Arts District, Miami. 19th and Bayshore. I'm gonna be out there. We're gonna go for 8 in the morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm gonna be out there for about 2 hours. Anybody want to come out there? You want to play me one-on-one? You want to ask me some questions about whatever you want to ask me about relating to your basketball, your skills, your career, whatever. Get some tips on certain techniques, movements, footwork, anything like that, defense. We'll cover all that. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. This is an unofficial event, so it ain't gonna be no signs out there. Ain't gonna be no check-in registration table. It don't cost nothing. It's completely free. The court's not gonna be blocked off just for me or nothing like that. But I'm gonna be out there. If you want more up-to-the-minute updates about that, or you got questions, or you think you're gonna come up, hit me on Twitter, which is at DreAllDay, where I'll give you more updated information. Of course, I'll tweet about it. I might put a video out separately actually announcing this. I might not. So this might be the only video announcement, but I'll probably make another video where I actually announce this in full so everybody can see it. Anybody in South Florida area, that is Margaret Pace Park, next Sunday, 1 week from tomorrow, July the 6th. Margaret Pace Park. I'm gonna be out there from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Whatever you want to do, bring your game. As long as you come, make sure you bring your game. Whatever else happened there, happens. So let's get right into the Q&A, which is what we usually do here. First question is GM. Oh, and as usual, I have not read any of these questions yet, so I have no idea what's being asked of me. I'm reading these and responding to them right off the top. All right. GM Canlas says, what age was I when I started watching NBA basketball? I don't really know. Maybe 10 years old. I don't know. Heat Blast 1231 says you should come to Greece to play in the Greek League. It sounds like a good idea, in theory. J Cherry in 48 says, damn, Dre, when you were answering my question, I felt like you were looking at me directly. Thanks for the answer and great vids. Well, you're welcome. J Cherry in 48. Hopefully, whatever my answer was to whatever your question was, it helped you and gave you the information you were looking for. Balling Like the Raptor says, he knows I film full workouts, but it's mostly workouts with Maria, who's my trainer, who some of y'all seen my off the court stuff. So he says he wants to know if I could try to, first of all, actually I'll address everything after I read the whole question. He says he wants to know if I can make a video like a day in the life, like a typical day, what I do instead of showing the mixtape, my thought process and how I plan things before my workouts. Well, first of all, balling like the Raptors. See, anytime somebody tells me that they watch my videos and then they use the word mostly, I already know they about to say something incorrect, because I done put out damn near 4,000 videos here, so I know you haven't seen most of my videos. I mean, you had at least more than half, which means you done watched over 2,000 of my vids, and I seriously doubt that you have. But anyway, nothing on my YouTube channel can be described with the word mostly. All right. Because the workouts of Maria is off the court stuff, which compromises maybe 10% of the content that I put out here. Over 90% of it is on the court stuff, so it's not mostly workouts with Maria and stuff. I guess he's talking about the full workouts. The drill series mixtapes, I think I put out more of those, which is the on the court, than the off the court full workout. So that's another incorrect assumption that you're making there, balling like the Raptors. But as far as me doing a day in the life video, I'm sure sometime in the future I will make a day in the life video, but there's one huge problem with that, is that I need someone to actually film me through this day in the life. And I don't have anyone who's going to do that right now. I actually haven't been actively looking for anyone to do it either at the same time, so it's not an imminent situation, but in the future that will come, but there is no time frame on it, so don't hit me expecting to see it. There's no time frame on it right now. It has not been filmed, has not been conceptualized, is not in the works, but it will happen in the future. So thanks, balling like the Raptors, for your question. Big Time Sniper says, what ended up happening with you playing Smallville? Did they not get enough funding for it? Is it going to be rescheduled for a later date? For those who don't know, he was referring to me playing a game against one of the players from the Verse 1 Federation, who's a channel on YouTube. I did a collaboration Q&A video with their guy Jonathan, who basically puts the league together. Him and Jamar, they put the league together, and when we did the Q&A, I posed a hypothetical question: if I play against anybody from your league, who would it be? And they said you should play this guy Smallville because he's about the same height as me, and he's the highest rated player in that height category in their league. And we ended up wanting to actually make the game happen. The Verse 1 was going to bring their guys and a camera crew to Miami, where I live, to make the game take place. They did a Kickstarter campaign, but the campaign did not raise enough money, so the game ended up not taking place. And so that answers your question, Big Time Sniper. And he says, is the game going to be rescheduled for a later date? I think the game will be rescheduled for a later date. I don't want to say too much more about it right now. I got some ideas, but I'm not going to say anything about it, because anything I put out here, people are going to keep asking me about it as if I said it's actually going to happen. So I'm not even going to say anything else. But the game did not happen. There is no scheduled date of this game as of right now. This game is not scheduled to happen at any point in time, in any location, in any way, shape, or form right now. But we will see what happens in the future. For those of you who don't know about Verse 1 Federation, there's a YouTube channel, so you can look them up on YouTube, where it's basically a league of dudes playing one-on-ones. Very entertaining videos, so go check them out. Also check out the Q&A that I did with Jonathan last summer, which led to this whole conversation. All right, let's get a little bit quicker going through these questions. All right. Video week 1 says, can I create a Penny Hardaway Hoop Handbook signature workout program? He was a great scorer and passer. He would appreciate it if I made it. And he has Penny as his avatar. Video week is a good idea. I might include Penny in the next set of signature workouts that I put out. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, that's all at hoophandbook.com. Brian B says, do you think it's necessary to be able to dunk a basketball to be able to play at the next level? Well, Brian, the next level is relative. Depends on what level you at now. So if you're in elementary school, the next level would be middle school. But if you're in college, the next level would be the pros. Do I think it's necessary to be able to dunk, but regardless of what level you at? No, you don't need to be able to dunk to be good at basketball. If you watch basketball, there are plenty of players who never dunk. Tony Parker, Steve Nash. I never see those guys dunk. I don't know if they're capable of dunking or not. Even if they can dunk, it's not like they're using that as a tool to be effective in the games. So no, you don't have to be able to dunk. World says, for the ultimate athlete, would you be able to do all the workouts of the program right there in your house? Absolutely, yes, you will. That is one of the specifics of the program when having Maria put it together, is that you need to be able to do this at home. You don't need to leave the house. So yes, you can do the entire 15-week program in your house. Excuse me. Mr. Big Shot Boyle says, do I think the NBA should make players spend at least 2 years in college? Absolutely not. NBA should allow players to come straight from high school if they want to, same way that you could do in baseball, same way that you do in hockey, same way of not football. A boxer could go pro, you could go grab a gun and get yourself killed fighting for our country out of high school, but you can't go play basketball, which makes no sense whatsoever. Cyrus 12 and a bunch of other numbers. He says, do you play basketball every day? Pretty much, yeah. Maybe, let's say 6 days a week. I'm going to say 7 days a week, probably 6. Lakers fan 2409 says, thanks for the vids. And he says, did I send a request for the NBA Summer League yet? Well, the NBA Summer League doesn't have a request. It's not like you call in and like make a reservation like you do at a restaurant. It doesn't work that way. There is a way that it works, and there are some things happening on the back end. As I said last week, when there's news, you'll know. If there's no news, you won't hear anything. So as of now, you haven't heard anything because there's no news. Kalichi Achu says, what am I going to do when I reach 100,000 subscribers? I'm going to try to get to 200,000 subscribers. eZiggy1000 says, do you have any tips on ball security? Because I have good handles, but sometimes people just rip me. Yes, eZiggy, you can check out my ball handling playlist, of which I have over 200 videos posted between the 2 playlists, and also in my how-to playlist, I have a video which is specifically titled How to Protect the Ball When Driving to the Basket, which seems to be the #1 issue you're having. Marcus McKinney says, why don't I play in the Drew League or Pro-Am? Alright, a lot of people ask me this. Every summer when the Drew League, which is a recreational summer league that's held in LA, when they start posting videos on YouTube or people start tweeting about it because NBA players will show up and play in the games, or guys who live out there playing the games. People are like, yo, Dre, why don't you play in the Drew League? Because blah, blah, blah. Listen, the Drew League is based in Los Angeles. I live in Miami. The Drew League is not a 1-week league. It's not like a tournament where you show up, you play, it's over, and you go home. It's a league. It starts in June and it goes to like August. So in order to play in the league, you got to actually be based in LA to go to all the games. So if anybody wants me to play in the Drew League, you could buy me a flight to LA, give me a hotel, pay for all my food, and make sure you get me on the team so I can actually play in the league. So it's not as simple as just showing up and playing in the league. And there's also a recreational league. So it's not like playing the Drew League, you make money or nothing like that. It's the same as a YMCA league. It's just a higher level with better players and all of that. But there are Pro-Ams all over the country. A lot of cities have Pro-Ams. DC has them, New York, Chicago, Houston. A lot of cities have Pro-Ams. They used to have a Pro-Am here in Miami, but they actually had discontinued it like 4 or 5 summers ago. So they don't really have any really good summer leagues here in Miami. And as of right now, I don't plan on moving to another city just so I can play in a Pro-Am in the summertime. It's not part of my plans. So anybody with a question about the Drew League has been answered. So if somebody asks me again next week, I'm going to refer them back to this video. Jesse Wick says, thanks for all the great videos. Keep up the good work. He asked me, do I have any videos on post moves? I absolutely do, Jesse. Go to my channel. Go to the tab that says playlist, and you'll see the tab that says post moves. Over 100 videos in that one playlist. Alex Crawford says, I'm 5'11", I can touch the rim already, and he has a good vertical. Will the jump manual still add 10 inches? Alex, the jump manual guarantees to add 10 inches. So if it doesn't, you get your money back. Training Goreo 21. Training Oreo 21. Says, great videos, Dre. Thank you. He says, when I play pickup games with my friends, my confidence level changes during the game or when I change teams. When I play people or have players I think I'm better than, I dominate. When I get picked up by people who are better than me, I don't do much. I freeze. And he tried to use the baddest motherfucker in the room analogy that I made in the last weekly motivation video 2 weeks ago. But it only works when I know that I'm better than people. How can I change this? Well, first of all, you could decide that you're better than the people who you're right now not deciding that you're better than. So you putting yourself kind of in the middle. So you like right here, you saying these people, I'm better than these guys, but the people up here, they're better than me. You got to eliminate that thought out of your mind. If you walk into a room thinking that somebody else is better than you, then you already lost if you're going to have to go up against that person. So you got to stop it right there at the beginning, and then you can fix all the rest of it because you got the mindset change. Dante Allen says, thank you, Dre. You inspired me to become the best basketball player. Try to be my best. You are a great person. Well, Dante, you're welcome. I'm glad that you are inspired to go do your thing. That's my main goal as far as any other players go. I want you to be motivated and inspired to go do something for yourself. It's not about anything that I'm going to do for you. It's about you doing it for yourself. Stankin99 says, how old was I when I first dunked? I was 16 years old. I answer that question like every week. He says, did I attend college and play basketball? If so, which one? Yes. Stankin, go to my website. It's called DreAllDay.com, and you can read up about everything you want to know about me and probably a bunch of stuff you don't want to know about me, but it's all there. Andrew Contreras says, who will win the one-on-one between you and KP from Project Basketball and why? Actually, I don't know KP from Project Basketball. I believe he's referring to somebody had tweeted me talking about they want to play me one-on-one. I've had 100 people tweet me talking about that they want to play me one-on-one. But see, here's the thing. You can go to my channel, my playlist, and you can see me playing one-on-one against a bunch of different people. You can see me playing 5-on-5 against a bunch of different people. It's hard to say that fast. You can also see in that 5-on-5 playlist, you can see me playing in professional games against different people. You can see me playing in pro camps against different people. You could go on my website and read scouting reports on me that were made from watching me play against players who are professionals. Anybody who's challenging me to a game through social media, these YouTubers, tweeters, whoever, they can't show you nothing. They just telling you what they want to do. I can show you what I've done. I have a track record. I got a resume. And that's not to say that I'm above playing anybody in a game, but I don't need to play any of these dudes in a game. All right? They need to play me in a game. And there's some people who don't like the fact that I said that, or like the way that I said it, or the way that it's delivered. I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. I hate using that phrase, but that is the situation. All right? I don't have to prove myself against none of these cats. They need to play against me. Next question. Zeshawn Wilson says, during practice, we do a lot of push-ups. My arms get tired, so when I try to shoot, I shoot air balls. And he practiced shooting a long time. His arms get tired. Is there any way I can improve how long my arms last? Yeah, you can improve your muscle endurance. You just need to do certain training for that. The best program I would think for that would be the Ultimate Athlete. 15-week program, no equipment, weights, or facilities required. hoophandbook.com. Jake the Ball says, since LeBron James opted out of his Heat contract, or at least he announced that he would, which teams do I think had the best chance of getting him? I have no idea. Actually, I don't really pay attention to all the free agency stuff. I don't even, like the way that they have it now with the internet and social media, basically a lot of these reporters, the news people who actually report this stuff, they got to fill their time slots. Reporters need something to write about so they can write an article. So they want different stuff to happen even if it don't mean nothing. And somebody like ESPN, they're a 24-hour sports network, so they got to find something to talk about for 24 hours a day, which is how you end up with trash shows like First Take, where they sit there and make up arguments and debates about stuff that didn't even happen just so they have something to talk about to fill a 2-hour time slot. I don't buy into none of that shit. Just let me know when something actually happens. When he signs with a team, when LeBron James actually signs a contract, ask me about that. But as far as who he might play for and who might get traded in this contract and this guy's money and blah, all that shit, I don't care about none of that. Let me know when the games start. Mustafa Idris says, what was my favorite overseas country to play in professionally? We're going to talk about actually playing on the court. My favorite place, it's a tough one. I'm going to have to say probably Montenegro. Just as it was very basketball intensive. Some places we practiced more, some places less. The way it was there was very structured. We practiced like 10, 11 times a week, which means we're practicing twice a day, many days, for those who don't understand the math. And a lot of shooting. They was really focused on a lot of shooting. My shot felt excellent. I felt like I couldn't miss because we was practicing so much, doing so many shooting drills every single day. That was probably the best place, I say, just because of that. James Blair says, growing up, who was my favorite player? All the usual suspects of the 90s. Michael Jordan, Kobe, Penny, Shaq, Iverson. That's pretty much it. Fangern Fu says, what do I look out for when I want to steal a pass from my opponent? So do I have any tips or secret techniques if he wants to steal passes? Fang, I would say no. If you need someone to give you tips or secret techniques to try to steal the ball, you probably need to stop trying to steal the ball. Because you know what's going to happen. You're going to try to get a steal. Maybe if you go for a steal 10 times, you might get it once, maybe twice. The other 9 or 8 times, you know what's going to happen. You're going to miss it. You're going to leave somebody wide open for a jump shot, which they're going to make. Or you're going to leave somebody an open lane to the basket, which they're going to take. Maybe one of your teammates will have to step up to help because of your mistake. And they're going to pass to that teammate. Their other teammate who had to get left open, they're going to be open and they're going to score. So you're going to cause defensive breakdowns. Going for steals causes defensive breakdowns. Just because a player gets steals does not make them a good defensive player. Allen Iverson is one of the best steals artists in the league when he played. He was not a good defender. He kept he kept leaving his teammates out to dry because he'd go for a steal. He would get it 2 or 3 times a game. You look at the NBA steals leaders, they get like 3 a game, maybe. I'm not saying all of them play this way. Some players actually get steals from locking up the guy they're guarding, or they play the passing lanes more smartly, like a Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan. But if you go for steals and don't get them, usually you're going to leave somebody open. If you're playing against players who can play and you leave them open, they're going to score. So I would say stop trying to go for steals. Stay between your man and the ball. Stay between your man and the basket. Play sound fundamental defense. Steals are not part of fundamental defense. Staying between your man and the ball is knowing where your man is, keeping your hand in the passing lane when the pass is coming, shadowing the ball, tracing the ball when your guy you're guarding has the ball. All that stuff is part of sound defense. Focus on doing that to the best of your ability, and you won't have to worry about steals. In Production says, do I think reading books is mentally important to opening your mind to different things that can be applied to your life to be successful? What is my favorite book that I can refer others to read? All right, so this first question was actually very long. So do I think reading books is mentally important to opening your mind? Maybe for me, I would say yeah, but as far as for you or somebody else, I wouldn't tell anybody else they need to read books. I think reading books is something that either you like doing it or you don't. Anytime I meet somebody, eventually conversation is going to turn to, do you read books? Some people read books. Some people, once they get out of school, they never open a book again in their life, unless you're talking about Slam magazine or Sports Illustrated or some shit like that. I wouldn't tell somebody that they need to read books, though. I like to read books. If you go to my website, there's a link there that says Books I Read, and you'll see the list of many books that I have read and reviewed. And what book would I refer to others to read? It depends on the topic. If you give me a topic of a book, then I can give you a good book to read on that topic. But I read a lot of different books on a lot of different topics: biographies, human psychology, self-help, philosophy, sports, of course, funny stuff, stories, things like that. Mostly all nonfiction. I don't read fiction. So if you give me a topic, anybody who wants to ask me a topic for a certain book, leave it in the comments to this one, and I'll give you a recommendation. Tedesco Hudson says, who do I think is better, Kobe or LeBron? Right now, we have to say LeBron. B. Baller says, if I'm one-on-one in a fast break, what type of moves would you recommend to get a high percentage shot off? Bearing in mind, most of the players against me would be taller. Well, B-baller, that's not how basketball works. It's not like I can say, all right, do this move, or this move if you get on a fast break. When you get on a fast break, that means you're sprinting. You're going full speed. You're not going to have time to stop and think about what Dre Baldwin told you in the comments to a YouTube video of what move to do. By the time you do all that thinking, the fast break's over. You're going to have to react instinctively. So you want to get good at reacting instinctively, there's 2 things you need to do. Number 1, you need to develop some skills so that you actually have something to use when you get in these situations. And number 2, you need to play in a whole bunch of games of basketball so that you learn to use your instincts when it's time to use them. You can't memorize a move. You can't memorize, oh, if I get in this situation and this dude is right here and the ball is right here and it's this much time on the clock, then do this move or this move or this move. That does not work. It will take you too long. The human brain does not think that fast. You want to play off instinct. Your favorite players who you watch on TV, you see Kyrie doing all these moves, or Chris Paul, or Russell Westbrook, or KD. You see them when they do those moves that become highlights. They're not planning the move. They're not coming down the court like, all right, I'm going to do this move, then this move. They just do it instinctively. The reason they have those great instincts is, number 1, because they practice a lot, so they actually can use those skills without thinking about it. And number 2, they play a lot, so they know when they can use them inherently without having to actually make a conscious thought. So that's where you need to get yourself to. Tommy Canless says he knows that I love the Hyperdunk basketball sneaker, which I do. And he says, in my opinion, what's my opinion on the looks of the 2014 Hyperdunk? Well, Tommy, I haven't taken a close look at it. I'm not really a sneaker enthusiast. I own enough pairs of sneakers to get on the court, enough pairs off the court, but I don't buy sneakers just to get sneakers. I don't pay attention to new sneakers coming out unless I'm owning them or somebody asks me a specific question like you are now, but I have not really looked at the 2014 Hyperdunks, therefore I cannot offer an opinion. Amari I5 says, what shoes are currently hooping? What's the best shoe I've ever played in? Amari I5 made a video about the shoes I'm currently hooping. It came out, I believe, last December. I made a video about that. If you actually look up, you type in my name and type in hoopin, Hoopin, without the G, you'll see that video. And the best shoe I've ever played in, if I had to pick one, probably go with the first Hyperdunk, the 2008, the actual original Hyperdunks. Those are my favorite to play in. RJ Solomon says, when am I going to make a WOYFG backpack? Hadn't thought of that. It's a good idea though. So since I just thought of it, there's no time frame. Bagat 1998 says, what's the highest amount of points? And RJ, thanks for the idea. Alright, Bagat says, what's the highest amount of points I've ever scored in a game? I've answered this several times. I scored 60 points in a rec league game in 2007. And the most I ever scored in a professional game, I scored 39, maybe it was 40. We'll say 40 in a game in Mexico. Jeezy Dog PSN, he says he's mentioning Larry Bird or Magic Johnson's signature workout program. Jeezy, what you know about Larry Bird or Magic Johnson? I don't know about them, and I'm probably older than you, but we'll consider that. Gustavo Herrera says, Dre, do you shave every day? Almost every day, maybe every other day. Nice Kicks 442 says, did I read Julius Erving's biography? It's very good. He highly recommends it. Nice Kicks, I have it saved in my iBooks bookshelf, but I have not gotten around to reading it yet. I got about 40 to 50 books that I have not read yet in my iBooks shelf. So it's on the list, but I haven't gotten to it yet. And thank you for the recommendation. Shake and Bake 399 says, which NBA player do I think would give Michael Jordan the most trouble in a one-on-one game? Right now, I say probably still Kobe, maybe Kevin Durant in a one-on-one. LeBron too, just because of his physicality, but LeBron's not like the one-on-one type dude like a Kobe or KD would be. I'll say Kobe if I had to pick Kobe. Reagan Wan says, when I do explosive drills like dunking, my back is sore, but when I do shooting, I feel okay. Does this ever happen to you, or is my back just weak? Well, no, that doesn't happen to me. It doesn't mean that your back is weak. It might have something to do with the way you're moving, with the alignment of your body. It could have something to do with a whole different part of your body that's causing the back pain going through the kinetic chain, which is basic information I'm giving you, because I'm not qualified to really diagnose you based on that little bit of information. And even if I had more and I could actually watch you, I'm still not qualified to diagnose you, because I'm not a physical therapist nor a trainer, nor do I have any experience in that area. So I would suggest if it's a serious problem for you, see someone who's a professional. Don't ask just any random person. I don't care how much muscles they got. If they're not trained for it, they don't know what they're talking about. Dr. Chris 100, he asked, am I aware of the Verse 1 Federation? Any interest in participating in one of those games? They called you out for a one-on-one game and looking to eventually having you make an appearance in the federation. Dr. Chris, let me ask you a question. I don't know how much you know about me, but since I'm here posting these videos, don't you think if somebody on YouTube has a channel and they do basketball and they said my name, that I would probably know about it already? So yes, I do know about it, Dr. Chris. As I've already mentioned earlier in this video, I have done a Q&A with the Verse 1 Federation. I'm very familiar with them. Like I said, I did a video with them, so of course I know who they are. So Dr. Chris, that answers your question. Dante Washington says, who are all the current NBA players you have met before, and if you got to meet a Hall of Famer, who would it be? Who are all the current NBA players? I'm not going to list them all here. I've listed some who I've actually played against on my website, DreAllDay.com, in the FAQ section, FAQ. And if I got to meet the Hall of Famer, who would it be? Michael Jordan. I never met Jordan. Will Smith says, who's my basketball idol? Nobody. Cliff Stevens says, in the weekly motivation, you said if something has to motivate you to play ball, and playing ball isn't what you should be doing. And he says his question is, how do you find something you're truly passionate about? Well, the thing is, Cliff, you don't have to find something that you're passionate about. You're just passionate about it. I didn't have to find basketball. Once I started playing, I developed, the passion just developed. I would think, actually referring to the books question that was asked earlier, if you are really lost on finding what you're passionate about, I don't know how old you are, Cliff. If you're a teenager, I think you should just keep living your life. I don't think you've lived long enough to really say you don't know what you're passionate about. But if you're over 21 and you're still kind of lost on what you're really passionate about in life, you should check out the book called Mastery. It's written by Robert Greene. Robert Greene with the E on the end. The book is called Mastery. Look that up. Tough Tanny says, thanks for putting out vids. I use them when I train before or I'm working out. Your vids help me be the best player in my class and my school. WOYFG for life. Tough Tanny, you're welcome, and congratulations on your improvement. The game, only a few more left, y'all. The game is on. It says, I love your videos, first of all. Thank you, the game is on. Second of all, I have a hoop on the street, but the road is uneven. Do you think the surface will affect my performance in real games drastically? If so, what do you think I should do? Well, the game is on. Some people ask me questions like this. Like they tell me about some situation that is basically a fixed situation. Is the only situation they have as far as basketball goes. We talking about the size of the court, how big the actual space of the floor is, how high the basket is, what type of basketball they got. And they say this is the only situation I got. I can't change it. And then they ask me, do I think that will negatively affect their game? Well, see, this is the thing. To all people asking this question, just like this one he's asking, if that's the only situation you got, what does it matter if it's going to make your game any worse or better? If it's the only situation you got, then you got to work with what you have. So he says the main road is somewhat uneven and there's no other court close to him. So what you going to do? Not play basketball? I mean, that's the situation that you got. Work with what you got. Stop worrying about if it's going to make you better or worse, since you can't change it anyway. Work with it. That's the basket, that's the ball, that's the court. You know the rules of the game. Do the work that you need to do while you're out there. When you get on another court, you use that. Do I think it's going to drastically affect your game? No, I don't. Do you think? The question is, do you think it's going to drastically affect your game? What I say is not going to change what you're actually doing out there on the court. Is what you think is going to determine that. Dmitry Tukovic says, I would appreciate if you did a Brandon Roy signature workout. He was deadly when he played for the Blazers. Maybe. I'm not putting a guarantee on a Brandon Roy program. Frosty Breast says, thanks. I finished the Michael Jordan signature workout program from hoophandbook.com. He enjoyed it. He developed a post fadeaway, a lot of one dribble pull-up moves. Now he feels he can score on anyone. And he doesn't need to do a lot of extra shit. So thanks. Now he's going to do the next program he's going to do is a Darren Williams workout program. So Frosty, congratulations. Glad you got better. And hopefully you continue to get better. Once you stop getting better, then you're done. Next question. Last one. Adrian Grant says, how tall was I when I was 12 years old? I have no idea at all. He says he's 5'6", so I think this is a good basketball height for his age. Well, Adrian, I don't know how old you are, but I'm assuming that you're 12 years old since you're asking. Is this a good height? Doesn't matter. I mean, what you going to do? Make yourself taller or shorter because I told you it's a good height, or it's not a good height? Nothing you can do about it. Your height is your height. So whether it's good or bad matters not. Fact is, whether you can play is the thing you're going to be judged by. So that's what you need to focus on, because you can affect that. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for the questions. Again, any questions you got, leave them in the comments to this video. I'm done talking. Work on your game. Dre all day.
Dre is a god to the people on YouTube as far as his handling skills and balling.